Hello and welcome to Desynced Nerds, a Nintendo Switch podcast. This is episode 24, airing on Sunday, the 3rd of March. We're your hosts. I'm Colin on Twitter at DSNColin. He's Devon on Twitter at Kulana. You can find the show at Desynced Nerds. As you know, we bring you all the latest news and hot topics from around the internets and Nintendo themselves. Speaking of, this week we have the Nintendo Direct. We'll cover that towards the end of the show. We also have a Pokemon Reboot rumor, and Blizzard is lying to us. Or are they? No, they are. But are they?
No, they definitely are.
Oh, but first, what's your week in gaming look like, Devin?
I have a bunch of projects due, so instead of doing those, I sat on my couch and played Switch. So
same, yeah.
So I played Splatfest, and it was
What side did you pick?
I listened to you after your giant rant about chicken and egg. I went egg. And
you lost.
You steered me wrong, yeah. Everybody clearly knows the chicken came first.
Sorry.
So I did that. I don't know. For those that don't know, in Splatfest you get a new map every time they do it, and it's always a little bit different. This one had a weird feature with containment fields, they called it, where basically at some point during the level, a giant dome would drop down, and everybody was just stuck in that dome that was there. And that was interesting. I didn't love it.
Like UFC cage fights?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty sweet.
This is in contrast to the previous week, or the previous Splatfest, where you just got giant cannons, and those were really cool. I like those a lot better than the containment zones. But yeah, that was Splatfest. That was fun, except I lost. I really like that game, and I want to play more of it, and I just need to get more excuses. I also bought Frontier the Trail, like I said I was going to, because this is the first time I've ever followed through on one of those before. And it's interesting. I'm gonna play it for a little bit longer, and I'll have my full thoughts at some point. But at this point, I would not recommend people buy it. It is very buggy, and it's a problem. So yeah, I played a lot of that, and I've been looking for something else to play. On that note, if anybody has recommendations, I would love to hear recommendations of something I haven't played. I went back to Golf Story because again, I want a game, and that game's actually really fun. I keep forgetting that, and then I play it and I'm like, woo, this is cool. It's your turn. That was my week.
We could probably just skip my week because all I did was play a little bit of NHL 18 and a bit of PUBG.
Just go ahead.
I forgot I had a Switch.
I mean, mine's all bright and neon. I don't know how you forget about yours. Mine, it legit brightens my whole living room when anybody walks in, because it's just like, boom, neon green and pink.
I hate you for that. I want that so bad. Anyway.
On to the news.
Hey, on to the news. So, first thing on the docket, my Nintendo Gold points are now redeemable on the eShop.
And mine are already gone. Woo! I bought Frontier the Trail the day after this became a thing, so my Frontier the Trail was $4 off, $5 off. So yeah, if you have my Nintendo Gold points on your next eShop purchase, you can convert them at a rate of, I only know American because I'm a dirty American, I apologize. It's 1 gold point is worth 1 penny. So if you have 500 gold coins, you get $5 off. On any new purchases, you will accrue gold points at a rate of 5% off the digital and 1% off a physical purchase off the price. So it basically amounts to 5% or 1% off of your next purchase based on whatever you bought. And also the eShop now does the math for you to show you how many gold points you'll get from your next purchase, which is kind of cool. Again, I still feel like this is kind of a silly system. I honestly would almost rather no rewards than really, because they just feel lazy, and I've said this before, but it's we care about you, but not a whole lot. And it just,
you did get $5 off, you said? That's better than nothing.
I have somewhere between 10 to 15 physical games plus 5 to 10 digital games. I've spent at least $500 on games, and I got $4 off.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to go to bat for them, but that is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with both sides.
Again, they didn't have to do anything, and I appreciate that they're doing something, but I don't know. To me, stuff in the past, like my Nintendo was super cool. There was so much cool stuff in my Nintendo, and so that in my mind is what I'm comparing it to. And it's just when you compare those two, it's just crap. So, and that's the problem that I run into. So yeah. What are you gonna redeem your gold coins for?
Well, I thought Wargroove wasn't gonna have a physical, but I think we decided they decided they're gonna have a physical. So I don't know now.
The struggles.
Yeah,
There's always DLC.
that's true. I might. Yeah. Oh, could I get the Splatoon DLC with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we don't know about that because that's later in the show. But anyway, next up, Switch Play activity is still being recorded despite it looking like it resets.
Yeah, so we've reported on this. Nintendo finally came out and said, we've actually fixed the bug. It's still being recorded. Next time we do a major patch, it'll be fixed. And actually they had maintenance, I think it was 2 days ago, and I couldn't
Before the direct.
Yeah, exactly, right before the direct. And I couldn't actually find anyone reporting afterwards whether or not it was fixed. And I didn't have a Switch on release day, so I can't check. So it may be fixed. I don't know. It'll be fixed soon. Don't stress.
Word. All right.
Read this next one. Read it. Read
it how you wrote it?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't planning on it. All right, next thing on the docket says Blizzard is lie.
Oh, Blizzard is lie. According to Eurogamer, D3 is actually coming to the Switch. This is one of those just to cross my T's and dot my I's. I'm done reporting on this. Who knows? We'll see it when it comes out. Blizzard is notoriously slow anyway. That's just kind of their mantra. They say we will release stuff when it's ready and not when the community thinks it should be out. So, like, continuing to talk about this is pointless until Blizzard says something.
Yeah.
At the rate that they move, this could be 2 years out, 3 years out. So,
or like classic D3, 10 years out. Anyway,
exactly.
I'm not salty still. In the Nintendo Direct news,
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is getting a full price release at $60. This is, of course, in reference to the last Direct where they announced this game. So as a point of comparison, it is currently $50 on the Wii U, and GameStop is selling the digital for $20. So I'm a little butthurt about this. I don't know about this $50 price or $60 price tag.
Can you get Funky Kong on the Wii U version?
No, he's a new edition.
Okay, so that's probably why it's a $50 game plus this $10 DLC, which is Funky Kong. Required DLC, I would suppose.
Even stuff like Mario Kart 8 had all the old DLC, and it wasn't an increased price. It was the same.
And I think Definitive Edition of Hyrule Warriors is going to be the same thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their rationale is. I'm just trying to guess.
Yeah. You should be a Nintendo apologist over there.
I mean, I'm trying so hard.
Realistically, I need a counterbalance because I hate everything, and that's just my soul. So
that's why we're great for each other.
We are the Desynced nerds. Where were we?
Terrible.
What were we even talking about?
I think we're done that one. We're ready to move on. So I'm just gonna move on. Hori is releasing a tabletop dock for the Switch.
Yeah, this thing's kind of neat. It basically props the Switch up like the stand would. It has 4 USB ports. It's got a charging port where you can plug in your power cord, and it also has a LAN adapter. So kind of cool. I mean, honestly, at this point, any dock that isn't the Nintendo dock, aka not $90, $80. How much is it? 80?
I'm pretty sure it's 90.
90 USD.
Yeah.
Any dock that isn't that is good in my mind, because this is a lot of money for. It's a piece of plastic with a power port and an HDMI extender. Like, it is wild to me that they price that so high. So anything that is not that is great. This one's personally not for me. I don't play a lot of tabletop like that. What about you?
I don't play any tabletop. Yeah, this thing has come out of the dock maybe 5 times since I've had it.
I mean,
I've owned it for almost a year.
Not to mention out of the dock, like just handheld. I never put mine on the table to play it on the table. If it's out of the dock, it's in my hands. Which is
those are the 2 modes, absolutely.
Exactly.
As well. Yeah.
I will say last night actually, I was showing my little brother something, and I put it back down on his desk to show him while I had the Joy-Cons in my hands. But even then, I'm not. It's not. The stand's not up. It's not in tabletop mode. I just set it down. So I don't know. But yeah, that's that. There was no price announced. It's actually the press release was only in Japanese, so that's that. So So we don't actually
Obviously,
know
the
anything.
bigger part of that is the LAN adapter, because like I'm still trying to figure that out for me. I don't want to take up a USB port for that, but like I
Yeah.
have a USB to LAN,
I mean,
so
we saw a doc not too long ago that we reported on here.
I thought it was in the works, and I thought maybe this was at.
I don't know. We'll look it up later. Moving on.
Moving on, the Holy Potatoes games plural are coming to the Switch.
So tell me, Colin, what do you think of these games?
I think they sound like they're potatoes,
They're
like holy potatoes.
They're Holy Potatoes, in fact. So, Holy Potatoes is a series of, as far as I know, only computer games. They're just like management sims, basically. The first one is Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop, and you run a blacksmith's, you create weapons for various RPG characters that come in. And they're very big on the, like, nerdy referential stuff that's like, oh, this guy is Clurd Surth, or whatever. And we're going to sell him the Burster Surd. And so just stuff like that where you get very obvious references to nerd culture. It's a fun game. I've played 2 of these 3, and I've enjoyed both of them that I've played, but I like management sims like this. So the second of the 3 is Holy Potatoes Were in Space, which is fairly similar to FTL. You manage a ship, you put people in it, and you get to explore the galaxy and shoot dudes. And it's very, very close to FTL, so if that's your jam, this is pretty close. And then the final one, which I haven't played, and I tried to get a sense of it from the videos, but it felt very weird from what I watched. It's a cooking management game in hell, so it's called Holy Potatoes What the Hell. And it looked very simplistic. Maybe these games are just games that you have to play and you can't just watch, because again, it did not look like a good game. But again, I like this dev. I like these games that they make, so those games are coming soon. I had dates and I didn't write them down. I believe they're all this year, so. And they're doing a tiered drop where one of them's dropping, and then like 2 or 3 months later the next one's dropping, and then again 2 months later the third one's dropping. So we'll be getting those throughout the course of the year. And yeah, they're all on PC, so go watch Let's Plays and stuff if you want to find out about that.
I might have to. Next up, Nintendo has filed a new patent for Donkey Konga drums and keyboard.
Yep, so if you ever played Donkey Konga on, oh god, what system was that? I don't actually even remember.
I think doesn't the Wii have one of those?
I think you're right. In any case, they filed a new patent. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say I saw somebody playing a game, like a ridiculous game on that, like Mario or something. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
Somebody ported or set it up so that you could play Breath of the Wild with the conga drums.
That's what it was. I watched some guy play, Breath of the Wild with the old ones. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That was amazing. Anyway, so they're setting it up so there's a new set of those. They talked about peripherals being the focus, and this definitely falls into that realm. So I'm thinking maybe this is a real thing that they've got plans for. They also patented a keyboard, and I don't mean like musical keyboard. I mean like a QWERTY Dvorak keyboard. ASERTY is the other one. So they're trying to sell a full-on USB keyboard for the Switch, which is weird. But I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I would take it. Anything that isn't the touch control or controllers. Controllers are awful for keyboards. I hate that so much. I had to re-enter my credit card data on my Switch recently with the Joy-Cons, and I was just like, this is so painful. Why?
It reminds me of T9 every time, like on the old cell phones. Yeah. It's like if you have to put S, you have to push that button 4 times, and if you miss it, you have to push it like an additional 16 times to come back around to the S. Oh my god, it drives me crazy.
Hashtag only 90s kids.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So yeah, Donkey Konga drums. I want that game. Let's go.
All right. So a rumor I personally care about. Devin obviously does not. Pokemon Switch is supposedly getting a reboot.
So yeah, this comes from a known leaker of Gen 7 info. So they put out a bunch of stuff for Gen 7, and it's apparently mostly correct. It's all in Chinese, so there's literally no verification I can do. I'm running off a translate. It was a screenshot of a Chinese tweet or a Weibo message. I don't remember what those are actually called. So I have no verification. I couldn't even Google Translate it. So I'm taking this all as secondhand. So that'll theoretically be a reboot. This coincides with another rumor that ran around in December of this year from China as well, actually. the Chinese localization was apparently done, and one of the people out of that company was leaking. And they compared the battle system to that of Pokken Tournament. So fast-paced, not turn-based, more rock paper scissorsy versus I hit you, you hit me. And they also compared it to Digimon World, which again was that kind of like fast-paced action combat. And I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that Pokemon needs a new direction. It needs to be a new game. But I just don't know about this as direction. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I'll agree it needed to change. This is the kind of thing that I can read about and we can talk about till we're blue in the face, but until I actually hold it, I won't have any clue how I feel about it. Because I thought Sun and Moon sounded not terrible, and then I played a bit of it, and I just decided I hated it. So, and it's like Path of Exile versus Diablo. I really like Diablo 3. Path of Exile is supposed to be the better game, and 5 minutes of that, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes of that, I decided I hated it because I can't stand the way it feels or plays. So it could just be one of those things all over again. But yeah, I agree. Definitely needs to change. It's been the same game since, what was that, 96, 7, 8?
Something like that, early to mid 90s, yeah. Well, yeah, well, new Pokemon stuff. That's pretty cool. I'm
so excited. I can't wait.
Same. Because for all of my complaining about I don't need a new JRPG, this is one of the few.
I make exceptions for like these Final Fantasies and Fire Emblems.
Yeah. I think Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and Pokemon are my three, so I know those feels.
Speaking of JRPGs, NBA 2K18 loses its screenshot function because of a new Nintendo's policy. Devin, take it away.
Just laughing at this face. So yeah, I don't care about NBA 2K18. Oh, also, it was one of the other game that they have. I think it was WWE. They both lost their screenshot feature. Who cares? They lost the screenshot feature because of a new Nintendo policy. What does this mean? Who knows? This is literally all they said. I saw a couple of different news article outlets reach out to Nintendo and get nothing back. So we don't really know what this policy is. Did they do something wrong, or is there some kind of content issue in the game? Like, what is causing this? We have no idea, and I think there's definitely a discussion to be had here. So back in the day, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when we were talking about the recording feature, we posited that it was possible that certain people were getting it and certain weren't because of content issues, and this to me confirms that. Because that's the only thing I can think of is that NBA 2K18 has vaguely inappropriate stuff, and so they don't want to do the screenshots. Like
cheerleaders or something? Because why would they both have it? Yeah.
Right? Like, what could that even be? I have no idea. So, I don't know. Just hashtag Nintendo things. But yeah, as we addressed earlier, slow news week. I was actually really worried about the slow news week on like Wednesday. And then next thing got announced. Yeah.
Hey, on to the segment. We're going to do, we're moving the games thing like we talked about earlier. So we won't talk about what's coming up this week. We'll talk about this week, next show. So we're going to skip right to the segments right now. And the segment we have lined up is that little Nintendo Direct thing that happened on Thursday.
No, not a mini. It's not little. It's a full-size Direct. Don't you dare say otherwise.
I'm sorry. So there was like 2 weeks following a mini is how long it usually takes them to get to a full size Direct. What was it, like a month we waited? No, it was a little over a month because the mini was in January, right?
That sounds right. But yeah, it was the end of January.
But they got there. They got there.
The Labo Direct counted as a real Direct.
Okay, but does the Switch subreddit count that? That's what we're really asking.
The Switch subreddit is already talking about the next Direct, so...
Oh, I know. It's driving me crazy. The Pokemon Direct or whatever? Yeah. Kids, relax. Anyway. The first thing we want to talk about is Kirby Star Allies. Devin, what do we know about Kirby Star Allies?
That it's releasing in like 3 days, and there's a demo. Go play it if you care. Like, what are you doing? So the one thing that they did announce that was kind of cool was that they're doing something called Dream. So it was not clear to me. You can play as traditional Kirby enemies. So King Dedede is there, Meta Knight's in there, Bandana Waddle Dee is there, which I watched the video 4 times to get his name because I was, who is this even? But they're playable in Dream Palaces. It specifically said this, Dream Palaces. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a segment of the game or if they're just generally playable. So that's a thing. We will be getting more of these after launch in free content. Well, the first one is a free content update. I don't know if any of the ones after that will be. So the game releases March 16th in 5 days. Woo woo. And the first bundle of new characters will be available on March 28th in a free update. So... And those were all like really obscure characters, most of which I had never heard of, and I didn't feel like writing all their names down, so I didn't. But if you're a Kirby purist and you've been playing forever, you might care. Okay, all right, now go.
Hold on. I'm downloading the demo right now. Give me a second. I like how pink the page is.
I mean, it's Kirby. Kirby is pink.
Very, very pink.
Boom.
All right. Something decidedly less pink, more white, red, and black. Okami. Tell us about Okami.
I'm so excited for this. It was like mostly heralded as Sony's response to Zelda in that kind of like action adventure puzzly game. And I have heard nothing but amazing things. When the first one released in like early to mid 2000s, my girlfriend at the time like just vanished. She was just gone for like 2 weeks playing Okami. Could barely get a hold of the girl. And so I mean, I'm excited. These are good games, and I really want it. So it's an HD remake. It has... So part of the game is you have a brush, and you draw on the screen with the brush. It was originally done with the not with the Joy-Cons, with the DualShock controllers. And in the Switch version, we will have touch mode and handheld, and motion controls with the Joy-Con, both of which I hate. I hope that we can just use the dual sticks. And we know that it will release in the summer. And again, this is a port, so if you really have any interest in this, there are Let's Plays and reviews and all of that fun stuff. But again, it was a well-received game at the time, so we expect good things. Tell me about this next. This is the most anticipated game of the year, I think.
I was actually going to ask you if you minded if I skipped it. I joke, but it actually, to me, it looked fun. The next game up is Sushi Striker.
I mean... It's not a question of whether or not it's fun. It's a question of what is this and why is this getting...
That's how I felt the entire mini direct. I was so disappointed at the end of that. Because I was like, who cares? Next game up, who cares? Next game up. Actually, I was watching this live, and the chat was just flooded with, who cares? Who is this for? Nobody cares. Next game.
I mean,
it's
like...
kind of sad.
I'm just going to hit some of the headlines here. Let's look at this. Kirby Star Allies, Okami, Octopath Traveler, Dark Souls, Mario Tennis... Crash Bandicoot. These are all huge names that even people not in gaming would know. The Sushi Striker is just so... One, I have no idea where this even came from. Like, is this a series? Is this a franchise? Has anyone ever seen any of these games before? And two, why is this getting mainstream airtime on the thing? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's amazing. Who knows? So, it is a weird puzzle PvP game. It releases on June 8th. And it's like a... kind of look like a match 3 to me. I mean, help me. How would you characterize the gameplay?
It was like somewhere between Frogger, Puyo Puyo, and like a match 3 game. Yeah, because there were like, you have 3 lines, he has 3 lines. You can dart between the 3 lines back and forth, and it's like a Puyo Puyo type of setting, like PvP setting. It was really weird. Looked really strange.
It's a weird game. It's also releasing it to the 3DS if you care. It was originally announced for the 3DS, actually. So, go watch that if you want to know. Like, obviously we're explaining it terribly because we don't really know what it is.
Or care. Next up, project, in brackets, because they removed that, Octopath Traveler.
I love that they went from, this is a working title progress, and that, or in progress working title, and then they just, nope, we're keeping that. We're going to drop one of the words, but we're going to call it good. So, Octopath Traveler had a few announcements. They had new characters, which, if you don't remember, we talked about how they said that they wanted every character to be a, like, actual real job that existed in the medieval world. And I was very confused at what they would do with that. Like, how do you make beyond soldier and like dancer and maybe shopkeep, what do you do? And they showed us one that we did not nail. So they have Tressa, who is the merchant. And again, you don't know about Octopath Traveler. Everybody has their job gives them combat options, and it also gives them world options. So the dancer, let's not talk about the dancer. The warrior could fight people at random, and he would just go up to you and be like, let's fight. And then if you beat them, you get XP and gold and whatnot and other stuff. The merchant, Tressa, the merchant, can buy things from random. So every person will have something that you can buy from them. And it sounded to me like there were certain items that you could only get from these kind of interactions, which I think is cool. I don't know. I love this as a mechanic, and I like where they're going with it. The other character was Alfin, the apothecary, who can ask people questions. It was literally just called Inquire. And I mean, it's less mechanicsy than the others. It's less fun. Whereas all of the other ones do very distinct things. You can fight people, you can buy things from them, you can drag them around, and they're now your follower. And then this one is just, tell me about your day, which is kind of lame, but again, I feel like they've pigeoned themselves into this very complex kind of system, and they're trying to make it work.
Their own ways out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think this is an awesome system, and I'm still very excited for this game, and as much as I don't want another JRPG, I will buy it because it's Square Enix, and it looks beautiful, and I enjoyed it, but you wanna hit me with some responses? What did you think of the characters?
Really, I didn't care too much because I mean, there's going to be 8, and we've seen half the crew. The thing that really excited me is the next thing that you wanted to talk about.
Okay, so on to the next thing then. You can now double up on battle jobs. So if you have an apothecary, you can also make them a merchant, and then those two things will combine in battle, and you get new kind of combos. They didn't give any real concrete examples of this, but just the idea of combining battle jobs and that customization, I think, is personally what I care about. I assume that's the same for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds crazy. I'm super excited about that. And hopefully it's not like when you first play Final Fantasy Tactics, everybody has to be an alchemist for a little bit so that they can use potions on themselves. Hopefully the best combination isn't warrior apothecary so that you can use potions on yourselves. Hopefully there's some reason to use merchant in battle and on and on.
Yeah. You kind of get that real job tree and not the fake job tree with the correct answer.
Yeah. Yes, the correct answer is what I'm the most afraid of, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's always the scariest thing with stuff like this. I don't know how many times I saw, this is the perfect Final Fantasy tactics team. And it was, you had to get max out your ninja and then go to samurai because samurai had the best, Samurai
has double hand and ninja has always counter and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you got to go hit those correct answers. In any case, Octopath Traveler is releasing on July 13th. I just wanted to throw a note in here. So Amazon Germany listed this release date as August. Mid-August, late August. I think it was like 24th or something, 27th. And this is a very clear example. Amazon early releases of stuff like this is not always correct. As we'll get to in a little bit, there was another game that got leaked on, I think it was a South American game retailer, and that was correct. But as always, try to... rumors are rumors, and when somebody screws up and posts something prematurely, it doesn't mean anything.
I feel like Amazon is especially not worth anything because we know roughly when Wolfenstein's coming out, but my Wolfenstein pre-order says December 31st.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how they say. They're covering their bases. But in a final tidbit about Octopath Traveler, they released the special edition, and it is amazing. It looks so cool. It's got the very standard art book, the music, the collectible coin that comes with it, which seems to be a thing for Nintendo anymore. And then the most important thing is the pop-up book. So it's like this giant pop-up book, and each page is a scene from each character's origin story. So the dancer shows her on like a burlesque type stage, and that was the only one that we saw as far as I remember. But it looks really cool. Right. And I want it. I probably won't buy it because special editions are generally like $90+ USD, and I can't hack it. But oh god, it looked cool.
The bigger thing for me is like I'm not sure I'm gonna like it. And the last one of the previous special editions I bought was Final Fantasy 14. So To be fair, I was the one guy on the planet who's like, no, we don't need a Realm Reborn. This game's fine. The one person. So, but still, I don't actually like the new game. Moving on. Travis Strikes Again. No More Heroes.
So
This game looks really good.
it's apparently like a big deal, and I've heard No More Heroes mentioned before, but I've never actually like I couldn't have told you what it was prior to today. And yeah, so the basic premise that they described was a guy goes into a game console. It's the hot new game console in whatever world he's in, and there are 7 different games that he can play. The screenshots that or the videos that that they showed they felt very like they were all the same game. It was all like the top down, he's swinging his sword. It's like there's a racing game and a puzzle game, and I just keep seeing him running around on a flat surface swinging his sword. So I don't really know what that means. They did emphasize later on in this video too that each game would be a distinct game. So again, I don't really know what to make of this.
It's possible they just didn't have enough of the other stuff to show, or they they weren't ready to show it just yet.
Yeah,
that's what I took that to mean.
They did say that it was releasing this year, so that to me means probably Q3, Q4. So it's a ways out. I don't know. I will not be pre-ordering this, but I will definitely be watching the reviews based on how excited people are over the first few games.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Dark Souls, possibly the most important amiibo you could ever own.
So it looks so weird too. I can only imagine like a Nintendo amiibo shelf where everything's like cute and bright and colorful, and then it's just this like grayscale knight
doing this motion.
Yeah. Praise the sun, Colin.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
So yeah, it's Dark Souls on the Switch. It's exactly what you think it is. We got a release day. It'll be releasing May 25th, and we also know that there will be a network test, which sounds like a limited time demo to me, which is a great idea because I think a lot of people, especially Nintendo people, aren't going to know if they want to get into this just because it's so discordant with Nintendo's standard offerings that giving it a limited time demo will be great. And I will definitely be participating in that. Mainly, I want to know if the port is any good because, again, I've talked about this in the past. The PC port was garbage, and I want to know that they can competently do a port before I drop $60 on this. $50? $50, yeah.
I already pre-ordered it, I'll tell you.
You have a problem, sir.
I have the opposite of a problem. I pre-ordered Wolfenstein and Dark Souls on the same day.
Oh, it was that. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, like 3 a.m. Yeah. I just woke up at 3 a.m. and decided I needed these two pre-orders right now.
Half asleep in the middle of the night, you're making purchasing decisions. But not only that, you stuck to them. You didn't, Most of us wake up with buyer's remorse and go, nah.
The buyer's remorse is to be seen. For now, I'm riding the high line, the high wave, the high life.
Anyway, that's Dark Souls. Tell me about our next game. I already said May 25th.
Mario Aces. No, what? Mario Aces.
Mario Aces. So it releases on the 22nd. It is a tennis game. But before you get in your snooze fest on, these games are actually surprisingly fun. I will punch you. So they have a couple of important things. So it's got all this fancy stuff with like, I've got a super now, and I've got like a super meter, and you can expend the super meter to do cool stuff. But they also have a simple mode, which has all that stuff stripped out, and it's just Mario Tennis. There's no super mode, there's no meter, there's none of that fancy stuff.
Can your racket still break in that mode? I assume not, because you can only break your racket by messing stuff up, right?
Yeah,
by messing up those returns.
I think you're correct, because you have to use the meter attack to make the racket take damage. So they're trying really hard to make this a complicated game. So it's gonna have an online tournament mode, which seems really cool. So it's just like drop in single elim, like 16-man tournaments with matchmaking, which again looks really cool. I really like this idea of online tournament mode, and I would love to see it in other games that I play. Cough, Hearthstone. And it also has Wii Tennis motion controls. So if you really, really miss Wii Tennis, it's basically here. This is basically that game. with Mario characters. Which I mean, this is going to be a day one buy for me. Like this is a game my girlfriend will play, and that is a huge checkbox for me. Yeah, exactly. Anything that I can get her to game with me is absolutely a winner. They also talked about a pre-launch tournament. So again, a limited time demo. People are actually, I keep seeing people talk about an actual demo, like a full-on demo, but I can't find that sourced anywhere by Nintendo. And I think that people are just misunderstanding what the pre-launch tournament was. So, who knows? But yeah. Go Mario Aces. With any luck, this will release before PAX South, and this will be our PAX West rather. It'll be our PAX West board in the hotel game afterwards.
Board in the hotel? How do you not just pass out literally every time you get back to the hotel after those things? Bored? I'm never bored. I'm either awake at PAX or asleep in my hotel.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just not an old man like you.
No, that's probably true.
Anyway.
Next up, we have Captain Toad. What is Captain Toad?
That's a good question. I actually didn't research this. It was okay. So there was a mode in New Super Mario Bros. Wii U where you played as Captain Toad and you had to explore the world to get loot. And people liked it so much they turned it into a full game. And I didn't play it. I don't really have a lot of information about it. It looks really weird. I kind of want to try it, but again, it looks very strange to me. It releases on July the 13th, so soon-ish. This summer is going to be brutal. There's just too much crap coming out. Now that I look at all these games.
It's like the Steam summer sale, except it'll be on your Switch.
Bandicoot is on the 10th. Captain Toad is on the 13th, July here. Octopath Traveler is on the 13th of July. Okami is sometime this summer. It's just going to...
And then there's a couple late May, mid-May.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quite the summer, but close enough.
This summer is going to be brutal. And this is just one direct. This doesn't include everything from the previous direct that they've announced that's coming out, mid to late spring.
Oh, yeah, Dark Souls is coming out. Yeah, that's on here already, yeah.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
I think Wolfenstein is too, somewhere in that region.
We do know Tropical Freeze is sometime in that region. It's just going to be a brutal summer for me.
I've almost pre-ordered Tropical Freeze, but then I was like, I probably still will. I just haven't yet. It hasn't been the right 3 a.m. yet. No.
We'll just have to never mind. That's inappropriate for the show. Moving on.
Undertale. What's Undertale? I actually have no idea what Undertale is.
So Undertale is a 8-bit JRPG, and it's really hard to talk about what makes it special without spoiling it. It's story heavy. The combat is kind of interesting. So the combat you can talk about safely. The combat with, say you're fighting a dog. There's a dog fight that you have specifically that I remember in the early game. So you'll have a dog in there's a box, and you have a cursor that controls your character, and the dog will jump across the little box and you have to dodge him, and that's him attacking you. And every time he jumps and hits your cursor, you take damage. And I'm explaining that really poorly. Watch a video of an Undertale combat. Make sure it says spoiler free or something in the title, because again, this game it's very easy to kind of spoil and ruin the cool thing about it. But in any case, it's an 8-bit JRPG with a heavy emphasis on story. So again, if you don't want to read a bunch, you're probably going to be bored. The combat is cool, but it's not interesting enough to make it a great game on its own. You really need to read the story. And then the other little tidbit about this is that it is being ported because Game Maker Studio is now supporting the Switch, which is what Undertale is made on. And I assume this is so if you use Unity, for example, you literally just click File, Export As, and then iOS or Android or Nintendo Switch. So I'm assuming this is the same way. So anything that's made on Game Maker Studio is probably going to come to the Switch in the next year, just because it's that brain dead easy. So
hopefully it's that and not some concessions had to be made or whatever.
I mean, maybe in other games, definitely not in Undertale.
Moving along, Crash Bandicoot.
So Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is confirmed. So this is another one of those that was rumored, and it turned out to be correct. I think this is actually a Reset Era rumor, which pains me to say because I really, really hate sourcing things from Reset Era. But yeah, July 10th, because again, we needed more summer releases. I'm excited for this. I really liked these games as a child, and I enjoy 3D platform or 2D 3D platformers. Yeah, 3D platformers. I guess it's kind of both. Anyway, there's actually only one T in that.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. Don't worry.
So yeah, that's Crash Bandicoot. It's a port of the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games from the original PS1. It's currently on PS4, I believe. I'm actually surprised, huh?
I think they had some PS4 specifically had, or Sony, I guess, had some deal where like they got exclusivity for a year, and now that year's up, now it's coming to everything else. I think that's what was going on there.
That may be exactly what we see with Spyro then too, which would be super exciting.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. South Park Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, who cares?
I mean, people do because it's rated really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've read is that as far as gameplay goes, it's kind of bland, and it's really only enjoyable if you care about the South Park brand of humor enough to play a 40-hour JRPG or whatever it is. Like, it's a full-length JRPG. This is not a short game, and I feel like the South Park conceit wouldn't be enough to push me through a 40-hour game. So, I don't know. In any case,
I'll agree. That's why I'm not going to buy it.
It releases on the 24th of April, and when it releases, all of the DLC will be available to purchase. It will not come free. This is not an enhanced edition, so just keep that in mind.
Buyer be warned.
Exactly.
Next up, Little Nightmares. And this game looks fantastic. I can't believe how amazing this game looks.
It gave me the heebie-jeebies. So, okay, it's a puzzle platformer, but every level is based on some, like, twisted, terrifying version of how a child views the world. There's one instance where it's like the kid's going through the kitchen and the chef is like this big evil monstrosity like Fat Pig Man, and the food that he's trying to feed you is just this rancid nastiness, and it's so creepy, and it was so gorgeous. It is of course a puzzle platformer, which kind of turns me off. It's also a PC port, which is something I'm trying to keep away from, but oh my god, I do really want to play this. It looked gorgeous. And I did not write a release date down, so I'm hoping they didn't announce one, but maybe I'm just a bad journalist.
I mean, definitely that last part, probably also the first part.
You don't know me. So were you into this game? Did you want to try it?
It wasn't on my radar. Like, I saw it on a Switch Planet video, and then I saw it in the Direct. And when I saw it in the Direct and heard more about it, that's when I was sold. I cannot wait for this. It just looks, it looks... I love Tim Burton stuff, and this felt very Tim Burton.
Yeah, the art style alone makes it gorgeous, but then also like the way that they're portraying everything is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like it. Yeah, it's a step bigger than it. Just looks dark. It looks dark in all the right ways.
Yeah, exactly. The release date did get announced. It is May 18th, and it will be a complete edition, which includes all of the DLC. Oh, and it also has amiibo support for the Pac-Man amiibo, so that's an interesting tidbit.
Random. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. I kind of want to try it. I may actually end up watching like a Let's Play of the PC version. One of the podcasters I listened to was really enjoying this, and he was talking about how it was terrifying. So, definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. I just love that, like, twisted, this is a child's view of what terrifies him. Like Silent Hill is great, the scary monsters and the foggy rooms and all that, but like, just the idea that it's I don't know. I can't express how much that interests me.
All right. I'm sure this interests you just about as much as that. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
Yeah, it's Hyrule Warriors. It's Dynasty Warriors. It's Fire Emblem Warriors, but with new with characters that you're familiar with. It releases on May 18th, and it's Hyrule Warriors. Like, I don't know what you want from me. It's a port of the Wii U 3DS version. It has all of the content from both of them mixed in, as well as some new stuff. There's a Breath of the Wild Zelda costume, Link costume. I know the difference between Link and Zelda, if you hadn't noticed. And yeah, that's that.
That's the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a port of a very recent Wii U game. Like, I don't really know what there is to say.
All right, let's move on then. There's a U.S. plus Canada Arms Open.
So this confuses me. They talk about how they're done supporting ARMS with content, and then they start supporting ARMS with non-content but events. They put out a recent. It was like basically the ARMS version of Splatfest. They're doing this big tournament where the top eight players all win. Oh, I don't have that written down. They win something for being in top 8, and then the top one wins something else. I have to apologize. I don't really care about ARMS, and so I have a hard time reporting on it. In any case, if you play ranked from March 8th through March 18th, you will be entered to join, and then at the end of that, if you are in the top 8 ranked players from that time period on the 31st, you will be able to join the finals. And starting when that premieres, there will also be a 3-day test event for ARMS where it's free to play and you can download it off the eShop, which I know somebody who's interested in that but won't get to play it.
Yeah, that's exactly when I'm moving. Super cool.
It's so tragic.
I was so excited too because I've been wanting to try this, but I'm not gonna. There's no demo for it. I'm not gonna pay $60 to maybe hate it. So it's like, oh, cool. And then I looked at the calendar. I was like, no.
If you ever this is one of the Redbox games. If you ever make it to San Antonio,
which is further than Austin for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's not necessarily something that you're gonna do specifically for this, but if you're there anyway, like I'm pretty sure you can return those wherever you are. So it's worth trying.
We'll see. All right, probably the thing that I was the most excited for, Splatoon 2, despite how I never play it, is getting a 3.0 in late April. And yes, it is. Wipe that face off.
No. We need to dial this back.
I don't care as much.
The thing you're most excited for, Octopath Traveler? Splatoon 3.0 over Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, okay, I've played Splatoon. I haven't played enough of Octopath to know if I love it or not.
You've probably played about the same.
Too. No, I've played a lot more Splatoon than that. I've played through 2 Splatfests already.
I played through 2 Splatfests, and that was like a grand total of 3 hours.
Okay, well, I stayed up all night the Friday night, because it starts at like 9 p.m. for me, so I pretty much, if I want to play it, and then I don't sleep well on Saturday night or Friday night anyway, so I just woke up early and played it again. Anyway, shut up, that's not the news. I'm excited for it. What's happening in 3.0?
So, first off, we're getting a big update in April. We will be getting another 100 new pieces of gear. If you were not paying attention, we just got 100 pieces of gear. What was that? In December, I think it was? December or whatever the month before is. November, that's the one. I know my months. So we'll be getting 100 new pieces of gear, 3 more stages, which again, in that last update, we also got 3 new stages. And we're getting a new rank. It is better than Rank S+. It is Rank X. I don't actually know what this means. I have no idea where this comes into play. Do you know?
Yeah, in ranked mode.
Oh, okay. I don't play ranked mode. It scares me. So yeah, that's the big update. And I mean, I love that they're continuing to support this game. There's no, well, we'll get there. There's no multiplayer microtransaction. There's no like continued monetization model for multiplayer. And as that's the mode that I care about, I love it. I love this free content. I love that they're doing this. Like, go Nintendo. You are actually a paragon of what this should be in the industry right now. With all of these companies doing it terribly, they are, I don't know. This makes me love Nintendo, actually. With that gushing out of the way, they also talked about how you can get Callie in Octo Canyon, but I have no idea what that means. I have no idea like, first off, who is Callie? Second off, what does her being in Octo Canyon do? So this was even said separate from the Octo expansion thing, I believe. Maybe not.
I'm pretty sure you need the Octo expansion to get Octo Canyon. No, Callie is just in Octo Canyon.
Octo Canyon is the single player mode right now.
Are you sure?
Fact check me.
No, she shows up when you buy the expansion, and that's how you access the expansion material. Because she expands on the story content that's already present in the game.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Octo expansion is the new update. What?
Hold on, real quick. Callie is like one of the main characters in the game. Fight me. I will fight you to death.
I mean, I go in and I splat kids and I paint walls. Like, I don't...
I'm pretty sure you can get arrested in like 50 states for that. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so paid DLC. It is primarily, we'll say, single player DLC. It has a single player mode with 80 missions. It will be releasing on the 2018th. Wow. It will be releasing in summer 2018. Just let it go. Let it go. I can't speak. If you beat it, you will get a new squid model, an Octoling, for multiplayer, which is kind of cool. But also, it's a lot of content for something that is purely a multiplayer thing for me. It is currently available in the shop, and if you buy it right now, you will get Octo-themed multiplayer gear for in-game right now, which is kind of cool. I mean, 4-star gear. For someone like me, I'm still level 12, I don't actually see 4-star gear in the stores. I have to buy it from other players. Yeah. So for someone like me, that's a big deal. But yeah, this is a thing, as Colin looks at his Switch to go buy that, I guess.
I didn't realize you could buy that yet, because
You pay attention. I know you watched the Direct, and they said it in the Direct.
I was too busy crapping my pants over what was being said, previous and following, to pick up on that detail. Yeah.
We'll get there. Hold on.
Yeah. Wow. It's right there.
It's $20. You should go through all your cards and make sure you've redeemed all your My Nintendo points before you buy it, though.
I'm definitely gonna have to. Yeah. It says I'm eligible, or it says that DLC is eligible for 100 points as well. That's pretty cool.
There you go. So it's $1 off. But yeah, so it's got 80 missions. This is not a light content update. This is a lot of content. And I mean, I guess it should be at $20, but yeah,
have you beat the story mission already in the game?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
it's a glorified tutorial. It's like, go into this level, do the roller. Okay, now you've learned how to use the roller. Now use the dualies. Cool, you use the dualies. Now use the umbrella thing.
I mean, it gets more advanced than that eventually.
Oh, does it? I'm in chapter 2 and I got bored. And for me, the single player is not that enjoyable. Like, it's okay, but the multiplayer is really good. I really, really like Splatoon multiplayer. And so I can play something I don't really like that doesn't give me the rewards I care about, or I can play something that I really enjoy that gives me the rewards I care about. And I'm never going to go back to that single player mode because it's just, I'm going to do the thing I really want to do. So yeah, that's the Splatoon stuff. Again, I know they don't listen, but I want to really thank Nintendo for what they're doing with this, because again, it's just, I could go drop $100 on Star Wars Battlefront loot crates, not get playable characters that are distinctly different, or I can play Splatoon and have all of the content available to me right now and get more new content every couple months.
I feel like it's not fair to like EA is its own beast. Anything EA ever touches is just the wrong way to do things always. So calling out Battlefront is just too easy of a target. That's all I'm saying. That's all I wanted to say.
Overwatch loot boxes.
Okay, that's a better one. Thank you. I just wanted you to change it from Battlefront because that's too easy. It's too easy.
I'm just saying, there are a lot of companies that are doing DLC and microtransactions and continued monetization terribly. And Nintendo is doing it through free updates that's trying to keep you to not sell your game. And that needs to be applauded. It needs to be applauded in the industry as it is right now. And, I tell people to buy Splatoon. If I talk to anyone that has a Switch that doesn't own Splatoon, I tell them to do it. Because again, we need to support this. If we don't support this, we're going to turn into microtransaction nightmare that Battlefront is, because I know you don't like that as an example, but it's a great example of the dystopic nature of what we could be hit. In any case, enough of me on my soapbox.
That's it. Or is it? Yeah, go for it.
So that was what they did. It was just like the end of the Splatoon. Oh wait, we have one more thing to announce, and then you see 2 squid kids. You need to go watch the video because the reveal, it was so well done.
And they're not even Splatoon 2 Squid Kids. They are the original Splatoon 1 Squid Kids, the orange and blue one. Because the ones from the new Splatoon are the pink and green. Yeah, these were I was like, are they redoing Splatoon 1? Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch that.
Also really cool. Oh, you didn't? Oh.
I also,
it was really cool too.
So I'm in a Discord, a different Discord than ours, that someone was just messaging everything that he saw as he saw it. And so I just randomly get a push notification on my phone that's just smash in all caps. So as soon as I knew that, as soon as I saw the start of that video, I knew what it was. Which kind of bummed me out because I didn't really get that reveal. So anyway, you see the two squid kids fighting, and then after a while, the screen goes dark, and it zooms in on one of the kids' faces, and they see this, like, you see this reflection of fireball in their eyeball, and then it slowly, like, crystallizes into the Smash logo, and it was amazing. It was so well done.
And then you see a silhouette of Mario, and then a silhouette of Breath of the Wild Link, and then a silhouette of who even knows. Yeah, it was really cool.
It was so well done, and I really appreciated that. So, they announced that Smash is coming this year, which... and there's a lot of speculation about this. We don't actually know anything. I will say, Sakurai tweeted... So Sakurai is the main, like, creative director of all of the Smash games, as far as I know. He may have not been involved with 64, but I think he was. In any case, he tweeted something to the effect of, "We've been working on this game in silence for a really long time. Please be patient with us while we, finalize it and get it out, and don't go crazy." That, to me, implies that it is a full, brand new game. Working in it in secret from day one for, for a long time period here doesn't really jive with the idea that it's a port. Some other things that people have said, the logo is slightly different, and every time they do a new Smash game, they do a slightly different logo. Whereas if you compare that to, like, Mario Kart 8, for example, the Mario Kart 8 title screen looks very similar to the original Mario Kart 8 title screen, the deluxe versus the original. So, and I mean, this is all inconsequential stuff. It's not, none of it's conclusive in itself, but in the whole, I am being pushed over to the idea that it's a brand new game, which, God, please let it be a full brand new game. I would love to see just a new iteration.
They haven't ported a Smash before, have they?
Unless you count the Wii U 3DS thing, no.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count that because that was released for both simultaneously.
Yeah, it was similar, very, very close. It wasn't meant to be a port. They were designed together.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's a port either. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think they would do that.
Yeah, as a counterpoint, they have been very, very comfortable releasing Wii U ports. So just to hashtag both sides. But again, I really hope it's not. I want a brand new Smash. I'm so excited about this. We've been crying about Smash since the first episode of the podcast, and just I want
and Chance the Rapper and random NBA players and the world's been wanting this for a while.
So that's a thing. We also did get somebody took a very, very high quality look at the silhouettes that we saw. There will be a link in the show notes to the tweet. He, in that tweet, has a link to the Imgur, but you go to his Twitter. Don't, the guy put work in. At least look at his Twitter. It looked very standard. There was nobody there that was visibly anything new. It was like all of the characters you'd expect. I saw Wario. I saw, I don't know,
DK, Bowser, Marth, Mario, Link, Mega Man. Nothing crazy. Ness was in there.
Yeah, so... Yeah. They obviously weren't willing to release anything big at this point. Somebody was talking about how there was a Link with a Breath of the Wild costume as well in there somewhere, and I don't remember that, but it's been like 4 days since the Direct. I don't remember anything.
I don't even remember yesterday.
Exactly. So yeah, and that was basically the Direct. What are you most excited for? Are you sticking with Splatoon 3?
Smash. And please don't hang me out to dry for this. Smash falls in the same category as Dynasty Warriors for me in that, well, maybe it's one step above it because I actually get really excited for Smash games. I'll play them for 30 minutes and then I go, I'm done. I'm ready to move on. At least Dynasty Warriors, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I know what I'm getting into, so I'm not going to get into it. So yeah, the Splatoon thing, to answer your question, absolutely. Even though I have a relatively low amount of time on Splatoon, I still really enjoy that game, and I'm still really looking forward to it. And the DLC will make me finish the story mode in the first one all the way through. And I want Octolings. Since day one, I was like, oh, Marina in that opening video that it forces me to sit through every time I turn it on.
It's safe.
She's way cooler. I want those tentacles with the suckers on them. And now I can.
You just
for the low price of $20 minus my gold coins.
Plus all the time that you're going to put 80 levels. This is a big DLC.
That's a big DLC.
Because I'm like 9 levels into the first mission and it's already way too long for me. So
I mean, and that's also always been my jam. I'll buy the Call of Duty for the 3 hour, 4 hour, and then never touch story mode, and then never touch multiplayer. That's how
yeah.
I've always consumed those games. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be my jam.
Yeah.
What about you? Is it Smash for you?
So Smash to me is so like nebulous at this point. It's so far out. I don't expect to see it until Q3, Q4, probably like November, December, to be completely honest. And so it's the hype is there, but it's like a slow simmer. It's very, very like back burner for me. But I think other
It's
than
not
that,
like it's not like news because you knew it was coming type of thing.
yeah, it's kind of something that everybody knew was coming, and it's so far away that I can't really get excited about it. I think beyond that, probably like I like the Splatoon stuff, but it's nothing that I'll actually like really get excited about. Probably Dark Souls actually. I think
But you're
Dark,
not even sure you want to get that.
but I want it to
You
be good.
want to be hyped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody came to me right now and said that port is going to be a great port and it is going to play the best it's ever played on any console, then I will absolutely, day one buy it. And that's really all I need. I need to know that I'm not going to go in there and it's not going to tell me press square to pick up this item. And if somebody can
It's not Panic Button, but it's the guys who made Skyrim, reported Skyrim.
No,
Who's the one doing it?
they're doing it in-house.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what scares me, is this is the same company that gave me press square to pick up the item on my computer. And I just...
Yeah. No, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, the people that ported Skyrim were talking about Monster Hunter Worlds. That's where that's coming
That's
from.
right. I'm sorry. I've had some apple juice, so I'm a little loopy.
Anyway, we would love to hear what you guys think of the Direct. You can. Oh, just before I get into that, as you said, we are done with the question of the week. We'll do a new question of the time period next week, and yeah, we got Universal switch to a look in review, not a look forward on games. So next week we will look back at the games that released this week. And yeah, so going forward, that'll be the thing. I'm really glad we decided to do that this week because we are breaking an hour, and with games it would have been way too long. So yeah, that about wraps us up for the show. If you want to email the show, you can do so at desyncednerds@gmail.com. If you prefer to tweet, you can tweet at us at desyncednerds, and we will read either of those here on the air. If you want to tweet at us individually, I'm at Kulana, Kulanah, and he's at DSN Colin. If you want to support the show, we are on Patreon at patreon.com/desyncednerds, and again, I'm doing a headline roundup every weekday where I just kind of talk about the headlines of the day and what I'm reading and what interests me. A lot of the times I'll put stuff on there that's not going to be in the show for content reasons. If somebody posts a 30-minute video, I'm not going to really talk about that in the show unless it's someone making a DIY Super Switch XL, because that was amazing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to last week's show because it was hilarious. If you wanted to support the show but you cannot do so monetarily, you can rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher, and again, we will be reading those on air when we do so. Another way to support us is to tell your friends, let other people know about the show, bring people in. We appreciate that a lot. If you want to catch us again next Sunday, we will be on twitch.tv/desyncednerds, and the VODs will be up on YouTube. Our channel is Desynced on YouTube. We are also on Discord at bit.ly/all lowercase DSN Discord. DSNDISCORD. And yeah, that's us for the week. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Peace.